Hello everybody, it's Carol here at Collage Journals. Big warm welcome from me, and I'm going to tackle the second prompt in Junk Journal July, being hosted by Meg, and the information on the Junk Journal July challenge is in the description box below the video. The second prompt is pop of colour. Now I'm working with fairly neutral tones in my little journal here. You might not be able to guess that from the bright orange mount board that I've used for the cover, but inside it is pretty neutral, and I did that on purpose. I like neutral colours, but also I wanted a fairly blank canvas to work on. So for my pop of colour, I thought I would use this rose here, and what I plan to do is fussy cut this out, and I also want to use this piece of calligraphy. I saw this and I thought how beautiful it was, so I'm going to use that, but the first job I need to do is fussy cut this out, so I'm going to go away and get that done. Here's my little rose all cut out, and I have snipped one or two of the pieces off so that I could reposition my rose on the page. So I think it was something like that originally, and I think that was up there, and I know this piece was off to one side here. So I've snipped one or two pieces off along the way on purpose because I don't like this blue on the top of this piece of paper, so I'm hoping that I can reposition my rose on here to cover that up or disguise it a little bit. I've also got some brown paper here. Now this was the back of an envelope that was going spare in my room here in the craft room, so I thought I would use that. I've got some book page here as well that I've lifted out, and I thought I might be able to use that. I'm just going for a very simple collage today, and this is my little book. You saw me create that page in my previous video, and I'm going to be working on the back, so I need to open out my book really like that so that I can work on it. And what I'm going to do is clip this page back and just work on there. So let me find some clips. Here we go. I've got a couple of quilters clips here, and I'm just going to clip that page back out the way. There we go. Okay, right, now I thought I might try putting a little bit of this on the back there, because I've got, if I move those to one side, because I've got this, and when I rip it away I'll have a white border around it, so it will stand out, I'm hoping, from that. Or I could just put that on there, but the first job really is to rip this. So just ripping the calligraphy paper or page down to roughly the size I want, auditioning it with that piece of envelope paper. Now you can see I'm using the book page. Wasn't liking that at all, it was looking too busy, so definitely wanted to go with the brown envelope paper. Positioning my rose where I think I need it to go, and the loose pieces to hide that blue at the top. And in the end I decided to make life easy for myself and just rip that portion off. I didn't want to do that originally because it meant that it would leave me a pretty straight top edge, but I thought that I could disguise that with my loose pieces of fussy cutting. Just working my way carefully, positioning my pieces where I want them to go. Being careful not to put any glue on the back of the rose so that it would adhere to the main page. Here I'm auditioning again that book page, but it was just too busy, and I didn't like the change in orientation of the text from the text of the calligraphy paper. Trying a little ticket there, and that gave me the idea to try these faux tickets. I love that green border on that one on the left hand side, and
still finding room for that original little ticket. I thought that would break up that edge on the left there. And then I liked the scroll work down the right hand side of the other ticket, so I thought I would use that instead of the book page, which wasn't working. And yeah, I was quite happy with that. So going in and gluing a few more of my rose pieces down, and this is me gluing the back of the whole piece ready to lay it down on my page. And now the pieces of fussy cut rose that overhang can now be glued down onto the back page, or onto the base page rather. That ticket, green ticket on the left hand side, will want trimming off a little bit at the bottom, but that bottom left hand corner, don't know my left from my right today, that bottom left hand corner was giving me a little bit of concern, and you'll see I come in a minute or two and do some collaging there. So I've used another one of those tickets and just auditioning some of the Tim Holtz labels, because the other ticket that I had there and that I used has a big red 13 on it, and whilst I wanted a pop of colour, I only wanted one pop of colour on here, which was my yellow. So I'm using one of the Tim Holtz labels to cover that number 13 up. Then I decided I wanted another one just to balance it out in that top right hand corner, and luckily I could just lift one of the rose leaves to fit it under. And then where the stem was on the rose, that was giving me a little bit of concern. Wanted to break that up a little, so I put a bit of washi across that bottom right hand corner and just dotted a few pieces round here and there to balance it all out.
Here we go, everybody, that's my finished collage. I decided not to use this book page in the back here. Just looked too fussy. This is the piece that I tore off, and actually I like how that torn edge looks against this white margin here, so I will keep that, and you'll probably see that come in the journal later on in some way or another. I used my brown envelope, and I've got a scrap here, so again that might well come in for a bit of layering. In fact, I'm really liking that, so I definitely will use it. If I fold my journal back up again and flip it over, I thought it might be a nice idea to use some washi down here because I have a pretty blank space there. So I'm going to just put some washi in there, and I'll put some glue in first. When I finished doing this bit, and I was talking about those two pieces of paper that I might use later on in the journal as a flip, I actually had a look at the transition of this page to the front here, and I decided that I didn't like it. So what I've done is I've come in and I've actually created a bit of a flip here. I may well decorate this at some stage, but at the moment all I've done is added some faux aged tape across the bottom. This is some that I made a while back. I couldn't actually find my glassine bits. I had some tiny little scraps of that left over, and I've put them somewhere safe, and I couldn't lay my hands on it, and I was on a bit of a roll, so I wanted to get that done. So I've used this faux tape, and I've also extended the collage inside here. So I've used some of the vintage book text up there to line the brown paper here, and I've extended that little collage and taken it over the page, added a little portion down here to break off the straight edge that I'd got, extended this little collage with some of this darker paper here, darker book text. You can see I've used some of the faux tape behind this image here, and I just thought that kind of blended in a little bit better. Still not 100% ideal because I'm not liking what's happening up here, but I can live with it. And the torn edge of this tape, I've just used a little portion up there and a little portion down there to use it up. So that is that page finished, and as you can see, I'm liking that transition a lot better. It looks less fussy than it did before. So I may well go in and actually frame this image in a while with some brown paper just torn, and bring it up to this edge. I might actually blend it over to this side, but these pages will evolve as I go, so I'm leaving it there, and thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. So take care now, bye bye.